YouTube? This is Galactic God, and I'm here with another Yu-Gi-Oh chat video. Now this week I wanted to talk about the difference between tournament play versus kind of at-home friend play, and advantages of both, I guess you could say. Now I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for quite a while now, probably over 8 years, maybe 9, something like that, and when I first got into it, of course, I was very noobish, like anybody is, and you do a lot of crazy, stupid, mistakes and moves, and you don't know what you're doing, and better players just, annihilate you and laugh at you, and, all that kind of good stuff, and eventually you get better, and eventually you start going to tournaments and stuff like that, and, I went through the whole process just like everybody else, and I did that for a very long time, for years in fact. I would go to tournaments, locals, regionals, shonen jumps, all that kind of good stuff, and the difference I started realizing is I really enjoyed, myself at least, I really enjoyed playing, at home better. Like with my friends, we'd have, a bunch of us would come over to someone's house and we'd, order pizza and whatever and just have like a good time playing. And I found that I often enjoyed those, a lot better than, going to a tournament and worrying about someone trying to swipe your deck or your card and looking over your shoulder. And everybody being so serious and strict on the rules, and just, when you play, when you're at a tournament, it just seems, not so much that there's a pressure or something like that on there, although I guess there could be. It just, the atmosphere is a lot different, and over time I've just kind of come to not enjoy it as much. I mean, I still go to tournaments from time to time, and, but that's not really my main focus anymore when I play. I'd rather, have a bunch of buddies over and just, have at it there. That's just me, personally. I find that, you become a lot more creative, in your deck building skills when you do that. You have a lot more freedom to try different cards. When you're going to tournaments, you're worrying, strictly about the meta that you're playing in, and how, one card's going to affect and not work against a certain kind of deck, and, how important your side deck is and stuff. And it's, and there is a good fun aspect to that, and, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I enjoyed it, for the time that I did it, but now, I think a lot of people focus so much on that they forget that, there's a real creative side to Yu-Gi-Oh, and, a lot of fun that can be had from just creating and building a fun kind of deck that you can have, battle another person's fun kind of deck. And, you get that a lot more from your at-home fun games, or even kind of some level at your locals. You have some freedom in that, but when you really try and push up and become a lot more, competitive, you lose a lot of that. And I guess I just want to say, don't be afraid, to not worry so much about that competitive nature when you're building your decks. Just, have fun, and build at-home fun decks too. They can be a lot of fun. And I guess that's it for this week. Leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think. The tournament versus home play. Do you play the same decks at home as you do at a tournament, or do you get more creative with your home builds? And I guess that's it. All right, this is Galactic God out.